When you think of analog horror, the first app that usually comes to mind is YouTube. But what if I told you that one of my favorite and what I personally think to be the best analog horror series is actually on Instagram? You can forget about the what ifs because I am telling you that. My favorite analog horror series is actually on Instagram, and it is called the Uriel Files. There is already a video about the Uriel Files up on my channel, and I'll link that in the description. But before I get ahead of myself, let me recap what the Uriel Files actually is, because chances are most of you have no idea and have never heard of it. The Uriel Files is a horror series posted on Instagram by the user Med-Induced Posting. Med-Induced Posting's account is no longer public, it is private, yet I will still link the account in the description. The Uriel Files is a horror series that utilizes an already existing meme format and uses it to its horror potential. This particular meme is called the Wojak. So when I first discovered the series, I thought it was just another of thousands of Wojak meme pages, and I kind of realized there was a story happening with the page, so I'm lucky enough to have gotten in on the first post of the Uriel Files is when I followed Med-Induced Posting, and so I saw the whole thing unfold as he posted them, usually bi-weekly. And they were usually 10 framed posts following that meme format with very, very elaborate drawings and things done within the context of the Wojak meme. By the end of Arc 1, which is essentially Season 1, some crazy stuff has gone down. Basically, I'll just say that there's these lake towns. The mayor of the town was disguised as a human being, and he has now become this cosmic entity and laid waste to these towns. And out of the lake have arisen these angels, or these children. They call the children of Uriel, and Uriel is some cosmic angel deity thing in the lake. And there's this like supermassive explosion, and then everyone who was alive forgets everything that happened. And that's kind of where we leave off with that series. If that was confusing, again, please watch the video that I already made about that first arc. Now, what I would like to talk about is the prequel. That's the topic of today's video. We start off by meeting someone known as the pastor. The pastor is someone who's beloved by the community. He's been the preacher at the church for about 5 years, and he has had adventures with 4 different married women and is already moving on to the next. He's notoriously a player of some kind. And then following the pastor, we have the schoolgirl. Now, these are our only 2 characters that we have to follow through the whole thing. 2 more will show up, but there's only 4 characters in the entire prequel arc. The schoolgirl has just entered high school, and she is in a relationship with the pastor, believes that he is the love of her life, and has some exciting news for him. And now things begin to take a dark turn. If it wasn't already dark enough, we've got a pastor hooking up with the high school girl in the congregation. That's already pretty messed up. But it's about to get a lot more messed up. A lot. After the schoolgirl told him this good news she had for him, the pastor had to fight off the urge to stray. He's spent the last 2 weeks since he's heard the news in and out of the bar. He has been preaching drunk, and he takes out his anger on the schoolgirl and wants her to get an abortion. So now we know what has become of the pastor and the schoolgirl's nefarious activities. The schoolgirl is very excited about it because she's in love with the pastor, but the pastor realizes how damaging this is going to be to his reputation and wants the schoolgirl to kill the baby. And he's very abusive towards the schoolgirl in this time. The schoolgirl begins to get depressed. She lies to her parents about what's going on. She doesn't go to school. She smokes and refuses to abort the baby. And here at the end of post 2, we get the first bit of ominous, creepy coming into this messed up situation. We just get this slide. Part 3, the crap really hits the fan, or part 3, part 3. The crap really hits the fan here. The pastor has an altercation with the schoolgirl at his house. He beats her, tries to forcibly get her an abortion. She bites him and runs away crying into the forest. The schoolgirl realizes she cannot tell her parents, and she's feeling lost and overwhelmed. From here on out, I think I will let the posts themselves do the storytelling, and I will give a synopsis afterwards. Wasn't that comforting? So I hope you can really see how the analog horror comes in here. It's not specifically, probably by definition, analog horror, because there's no statement of whether or not it's a VHS tape or something like that. But the old grainy film filter over it really gives off that vibe. And something about this whole series, when taken as a whole, is just the most unsettling thing. It'll just sit on you and ruin your day. I would say this gives off more vibes of cosmic horror. This would be like in the realm of cosmic analog horror, which I don't know if has been explored anywhere else. Probably a little bit. They probably overlap a lot more than I think. But anyway. And really, I don't know what all exactly it explained. We get the Hat Man character, and then there's also the other, like, stranger in the woods. And it's unclear whether or not they're the same person. I don't believe so. Maybe if you caught something in there, let me know. I'm bad at interpreting things. Essentially, what I think is happening here is that this hooded, black cloaked figure is the angel Uriel, who is actually mentioned in the Bible as a real thing. The name of the lake is Lake Uriel, and Uriel, I don't know how it's pronounced. Ariel? I don't know. Again, please correct me. I'm terrible at looking things up. But as we find out in Arc 1 and later on in Arc 2, we know that the angel lives at the bottom of the lake. And I believe that cloaked figure is the angel and not the massive cosmic beast that we saw in the first arc. Again, if you didn't see that, I'm gonna put a picture of it up right here somewhere. I believe that is the angel, and I believe the angel is overwhelmingly a neutral force, because the angel says, "I'll protect you, just let me in." Now, I suppose you could read this to think that by "let me in," the angel means, let me into your life, give your life over to me, and I will protect you. Or it could literally mean physically let me in your body, because the last slide is the fetus, and one could say that maybe the fetus is an angel in the lake, or perhaps the baby becomes the mare who turns into that Lovecraftian nightmare in the first arc of the series. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't really know what all to make of this series. I've gone over it hundreds of times, and I still am confused and finding things and answers and more questions than every time I go over it. So if you caught anything out of this, out of anything you've seen, please let me know. If this sparked your interest, let me know. I'll do part 2 where we go over Arc 2 of the Uriel files. Be sure to check out part 1, which will be going over Arc 1 of the Uriel files. Despite my infancy in video editing in the video, I still think it's a good video, one of my better videos on the channel, and I would appreciate if you would go and watch that so we can get Arc 2 taken care of and no one's going to be like majorly lost. Like I said, MetaNews Posting is the account that posted it. I do not know if he's accepting followers any longer. However, you can give it a try. The link will be in the description. And you can check out the Uriel files for yourself. And then come back here whenever I post Arc 2 and follow right along with me. For now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I am so grateful to you guys. We have surpassed 100 subscribers on the channel, and that is the first of many milestones hopefully to come. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you later.